where I was from, it was almost bigger than just a sport. A lot of lads I've seen, make a first team debut and then they go missing. You don't see them again.
Yeah.
They made 1 or 2, and then they sort of try and live off that for the rest of their life.
You actually rejected a place in Liverpool's youth side.
They weren't getting near the first team. They weren't happy. All they did was moan about the fact that they were a million miles off. You got Steven Gerrard, Xabi Alonso, Mascherano in front of me playing. Looking back now, it was a complete wrong decision to go to Stevenage. Put your boots on. Don't bother putting your boots on if you're not going to work hard. Like, we clashed a bit, and it came to a stage where I couldn't stay there any longer. I was just looking to sort of get out and get a chance somewhere else. Thinking I should never have left Inverness. Should never have left. But do you know what? It all came from the pre-season. The pre-season we did with John Hughes in summer 2014 for that 14-15 season was unbelievable. Live on Sky, they've got a few kids in. Let's go and make these pay. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you get to celebrate much after the game, or was it?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Absolute right, we did. Because we had the open top bus parade as well, and and the next day after the coach journey home, the coach journey was, there was beer everywhere, so we just made sure we enjoyed it because we had to. And there was a party back at the ground that night when we got back from Glasgow, so we were all there. Most of the lads just slept at the ground because they couldn't make it home. To be honest, they couldn't make it home. A lot of the lads the next day were in the suits. I had to get changed out of the suits and put the t-shirts on, the cup winner t-shirts on, and go for the open top bus. But no, when you do something like that, there's a case you have to celebrate.
Yeah.
I think it's important to. It's important to because it's such a big landmark that you need to sort of celebrate it, because you don't really want to enjoy it. You want to make the most of the something you've achieved. I think.
Was there then did you then have a second big party towards the end of the season after you qualified for Europe as well in the league?
Yeah, we did. It was a bit different that, because obviously we qualified for Europe. We had a few drinks on the way home, and I think we had the night out that night after the Dundee game. But
you think?
Yeah, but it wasn't to the extent of the cup final.
No.
There was a few sore heads the next morning, don't get me wrong, but we quickly got back into training on the Monday and sort of enjoyed the rest of it. But there was actually a bet going on with Scott Kelleher. He is the first team coach. He said he said at the start of the season, if we finish third, I think it might have been after the Celtic game, he said, if we finish third, I'll take training in a mankini. Right? And he's lost a lot of weight now, Scott, but back then he was carrying a lot. He was carrying we used to give him stick about it. We stay out of McDonald's and stuff like that. But at the time, but then he was quite big, so I just remember him taking training in a mankini with a fake tash on and a sort of wig, curly wig, and it was brilliant. That was brilliant. That's what we had. We had that togetherness. We had that team spirit, and that day he came with Yogi and Russell Lapsey. They always drive together in the car. So Kel's got this mankini on, and he's came to train, took training. Obviously, everyone knows he's in a mankini. He's just got his Inverness coat over the top, but no pants on. And he's got the tash and the hair. So basically, one of the lads distracted Scott after the game, after the training, and Yogi and Russell shot off. So we didn't have a lift home. Right, so he's stuck. So we end up getting them on the team bus to go back to the stadium. And Gary Warren's driving it. And we've got him in the bus. And Gaz starts taking this little detour. And he's like, where are you going? Like, panicking, where are you going? And he's heading towards town. We were going to kick him out in town and leave him in there. But on the way, Gaz has come round the corner. He must have been going 20 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour, round the corner. Kel's opened the side door and just jumped out. He just jumped out. I don't know how he's done it, but he's jumped out and he's managed to stay running at the same time. He's like caught up and he's kept himself up by running. And we just drove off and left him. He ended up having to get a taxi back, or I think his wife picked him up or something like that. But yeah, he's an absolute legend, Kel. He's still there now. He's brilliant. Spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He's also massive in the dressing room. So yeah, that was the stuff that was going on. That was going on pretty much most days, to be honest. There was always someone up to something.
So what was it like then, eventually, because obviously you've got Europe, but what's it then like playing European football? Because especially the season starts much, much earlier. You don't get as long as the off-season as you do. You have to go back earlier. You're playing intense games straight away. What is the scale of it, and how does it affect you when you're actually involved in
that? Well, obviously, it was another big thing for the club, because again, you're thinking we've created a tiny bit of history for the club here as well, and obviously all the city's buzzing with it, and as players, we just wanted to go through. We just wanted to give a good account of ourselves, because we thought we had the right squad to do so. And in the two games we played against Astra, we kept the ball better. We were the better side.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
It was just for a free kick that should have never have gone in, to be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It should never have gone in. I was saying that at the time because I was in the wall. I just thought, I'm not a goalkeeper. Fonners is an international goalkeeper. He knows a lot more than me, but I just felt, for how close it was, he was giving up a bit too much of the opposite side of the goal.
Yeah.
And the lads, it's a good free kick. The lads got it over the wall on target, and that's pretty much all we had to do. So we went out. We did have chances. We should have. I know they've scored, and I've said that I don't think it should have happened. They should have scored, but I think we had chances in the draw, in the tie, and we really, because it was West Ham in the next round.
Yeah,
West Ham that we missed out on.
I was going to say, because I remember seeing that draw, and you're like, God, if only you'd got that West Ham draw, because it's Scottish versus English teams, and they're always the best type of games, no matter what level.
Yeah. And again, West Ham underestimated Astra.
Yeah, they got beat.
They had, exactly. They played a lot of young lads, and it didn't work out. They tried to blood a lot of young lads, and it didn't work out. You've got to be careful with that. So I feel like we would have had a right chance against West Ham. I know that sounds a bit stupid, but Astra did well, so I think we could have as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just more of a bit. I was just angry that we didn't go through, to be honest, because I felt like we could have. I felt like we missed out on a trick there. Missed out on another tie.
Yeah. And so what was it like then, actually going to Romania to play? Because it's, like you said, it's so different to what you usually like. And how long do you actually spend there? Do you go there the day before, or are you there a few days?
We landed the day before.
Right.
We landed the day before. And I just remember getting off the plane and thinking, wow, it was about 36 degrees. I was thinking, because we had all our tracksuits on and stuff like that, I was thinking, how are we going to play in this? And then we, from the airport, we went straight to the hotel, rested in the hotel for a bit, and then we went straight to straight to a ground. I think it was some Bucharest ground we used. And again, it's roasting. But you sort of acclimatise after a while. But the stadium, Bucharest Stadium, it was so like, it was really aged. It was really like, it was an old stadium. There was that sense of, you could tell that in Romania, you can tell that there's been conflict. You can tell like it's that sort of, you know, there's a lot of ruined buildings, and it was that feel like, it was almost like, it looked like something off you'd see out of something like Mean Machine, where the guards play the con, you know, something like that. You'd expect, you could see, you'd have a game like that in that stadium, the way it was set up. So yeah, we went there. We had the training, and the next day we went to the game, and then we brought, I think we brought about 1,500 fans, or they felt like 1,500 anyway. How noisy they were. They were brilliant. So you could tell it was real. It was a real sort of party time for the fans, and it was nice to give them that. It was nice to give them that because, you know, we don't get many fans, but the fans we do get, they're there every week, home and away. So it's nice to give them something as well. And they were singing all game throughout the warm up and everything. So it was brilliant. I remember going to the stadium from the hotel. And again, as I said, you can tell there's been conflict in the country. So we're leaving for the hotel, and there's a massive police escort behind us and in front of us, and at the sides. And they've took us the wrong way around the roundabout. And I remember looking out, thinking that's a bit weird. And then I see, as we turn the roundabout going to the motorway, there's a massive pile-up. And there's been the police have blocked the road, and we were going up the wrong way, the motorway. They'd shut the motorway for us, so there was no problems. And it was a bit of a strange experience, to be honest.
I can imagine.
We're going up there, and it was, to be honest, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Like, I was thinking, like, came from a council estate, living in a council house most of my life, and then piece of this, I don't mind it, could get used to it. So I really wanted to go through. But yeah, that was a bit strange.
And something that sort of, I don't know whether this is true or not, and it could just be from an outsider's perspective, but after that sort of Europa League, the journey you had with Inverness, it almost seemed like this, like I mentioned before, that the 14-15 season, you could tell that it was going to be good from the offset. It was very, very quickly into that. Now, did something change from the next season? Was it because you started earlier? Because it almost didn't seem to have that same momentum again.
Yeah. I think that might have had some of an effect. Also, what was going on behind the scenes as well is we had that 14-15 season, and I know personally from a player, and I was close to John Hughes, and still am now. And I knew how much he wanted to take the club forward again. Yeah. You've got all the players, all the staff, management staff, going, right, we've done this for you, back us now and give us a few more players. We've earned a bit of money for the club. Yeah. Maybe put a bit back into us so we can take us on again, because we want to do this again. And there was a bit of a to and froing from the...
Yeah, I seem to remember those lot of rumours.
Yeah, from what we wanted, because we want to do best for the club, the city, and for ourselves as well. Because it's a short career. You want to do the best you can in the time you've got. Yeah, and I felt like that was the perfect time to sort of strike while the iron was hot and kick on. And I think there's that to and fro and sort of messed up that the atmosphere in the club wasn't the same as it was the year before. So there was a turn that way, and it did, spill out onto the pitch. Yeah,
and obviously it wasn't be the last time you played in Europe, because you eventually moved to Aberdeen, and you got to play in it was in Bosnia this time, I think, wasn't it? And
Bosnia and Cyprus. It was again. We went out in Cyprus. Yeah.
Did you have a similar experience there? Was it very sort of surreal strange because obviously the other sort of caveat to that is that Aberdeen, I don't know if you agree with me, almost have this sort of bigger club mentality. You know, they've got the European trophy in the ground, and you feel a bit more excited by it. So I don't know whether the experience would have changed being in Europe.
Yeah, no, it was similar. It was similar. It was a case of, I think as a player, you have to feel that you belong there. You belong in like sort of. You have to feel for your own performance and your own, so you're not like overawed or anything, or you have to believe in yourself. You believe that you belong at that level. Yeah. So I think being there was no different really, no difference to be honest. Again, it was Bosnia, similar to Romania. There's been conflict in the country, so it had that same feel.
Yeah.
So it was similar in that way. What happened in terms of me going to Aberdeen was I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go in terms of I'd love to have stayed and been happier in Inverness. But as I said before, the sort of conflict between the way the players wanted to go and the way the sort of board members wanted to go, it was clashing, and I felt we were going in the wrong direction at the time. And it, you know, you try and fight it as a player, but you can only do so much. You know, you can, you know, you give your all on the pitch, but it was a real bad time, real sad time for me to have to go to Aberdeen in the first place, because obviously in the I think it was winter January 2016, Aberdeen came in for me then.
Yeah.
And it was in the end of the transfer deadline day, and I remember saying to the chairman at the time, I said to him, I was like, you don't realise how lucky you are here. Like, Kenny's brilliant, but it was the people around him. Kenny Cameron was superb with me, brilliant guy. But the people around him and the people on the board didn't want to help John go the way he wanted to go. And I remember sitting down with Kenny on deadline day when everything was going a bit crazy over the Aberdeen move. And I said to him, I said that I don't want to leave here. You don't realise how good this club and dressing room is. I said all that needs to happen is we need to just sign a few more players or replace the ones we lost, because we lost Marley Watkins.
I was going to say, because it doesn't help when you've got clubs like Celtic and Rangers who are going to poach the best players from a team like Inverness, who aren't going to stop it, and those players aren't going to stop that chance to move to those clubs. No, exactly. And I thought if we'd have been able to replace Marley, it would have been massive for us, because that's what we needed. That's what we needed, and we needed a few players elsewhere. Carl Tremarco slotted right into where Shinny was, so it wasn't a problem. That wasn't a problem. But I just felt like the team were missing something that we needed to add. And the board didn't want to do it. So it was, I said to them, I could have took, with what happened in terms of deadline day, I could have took that further if I really wanted to leave. I could have took that further. Yeah.
Because it was a bit naughty what happened. You know, we sort of paid over me release. We paid $5,000 over me release clause, Aberdeen. So really, it was a bit naughty from Inverness to not let me go. And I could have took that further, but I'm not going to do that to a club that's given me so much and given me the opportunity to be a decent player at that level. And I said that to them. I said, I'll give you. I said, all I can say is, you know, that's not a question. I'm really grateful for what you've given me, but I'm just letting you know, this is what the feel I'm getting from the changing room. This is what we need. So I'm just making this opportunity to tell you now. But it didn't go that way. So it was a tough time.
And does it can't help as well, because when do a bit of research on yourself, you get like, and there's been a lot spoken about mental health in footballers recently, especially in the last few weeks. And it can't have helped when you have an article that's brought out. It's like, fans call fans call Greg there's a money grabber. And it's like, it can't help you, especially when you know what you're doing. It's like, I'm trying to help the club out here. I'm trying to show them that what they're doing is wrong. And then you get this from the outside. It can't help you mentally when you're trying to play.
No. Well, what I wanted to do, I mean, there was times where, I mean, before the Inverness fans were great with me on the whole. So before that had happened, people didn't know people still didn't know what was going on, and didn't know what was really happening. So there is a massive sort of urge to go to settle the score and say, listen, no, this is actually what's happening.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to hang Inverness out to dry because I loved the club.
Yeah.
So it was hot. It was a horrible situation to be in.
I can imagine. And it's like, so how do you then, because like you said, that it's the players again, and how much contact do you as a player get with these sort of higher ups in the club? Is your only sort of viewpoint through the manager?
Yeah, you don't really get the opportunity to talk to them, to sit down and talk to them. Kenny was always around the club, so he's perfect. He's great. You can go and have a coffee with him and talk about things. That's fine. But the others around the club, you couldn't. And as well, my view on it was, listen, I'm a player. Like, I'm going to do my best for the club. I'm not the type to go telling people what to do. I wasn't the type to ever go and speak to higher up, because that's nothing to do with me. I'm just a player. The only reason I said it at the time was because I felt like it was the opportunity to say it, because we were in that conversation. So that's the only reason I mentioned it. I wouldn't go and speak to them, because really wasn't might have been, but I didn't feel like it was my job to say anything. Like, my job is to just play on the pitch and just, because I've never been opinionated in terms of outspoken to people anyway. I was just one who got my head down and just wanted to work hard. But I could see that happening, so that's why I said something.
So what's it like then for you as a player to be involved in those transfer deadline days? Because you always get the hype up from the media from them in certain ways, but are you just basically sat there at home with your agent phoning you up every 10 minutes saying, this happened? I can't, what's it like for a player?
Well, it's, you know what, they say footballers are a piece of meat, right? And you are, but you don't really feel it that much. You feel like you've wanted, and you feel like you've got friends in the game and stuff. When that happens, you are just a piece of meat. You're just sat there going, right, waiting for a call, waiting for a call. And you're seeing it. It's surreal, really. You're seeing it on Sky Sports and on the yellow ticket tape on the bottom, and you're going, it's weird. My agent actually flew up to Inverness, and I was on deadline day when it was all going on. I was sat in one of the conference rooms in the Jury's Inn, out the way of everyone, with him on the phone. He was on the phone, and I'm just sort of not really knowing what I want to do, because I loved it at Inverness, and I know Aberdeen were challenging Celtic that season for the title. So I was a bit torn anyway. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I'm sat here going, what's going on here? Really, like, what is going on? I'm getting phone calls off everyone. And I was getting calls off John Hughes. John Hughes was going mad at me. He was like, I can't believe, like, what's going on here? Where's all this come from? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I found out about it this morning.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Because the only time I'd heard about it is when that's one time Kenny actually called me into to his office after training, and I thought, oh no, what's going on here? I was trying to think if I had a dodgy night out somewhere or something. I was like, no, it hasn't been that eventful. I kind of done not that much wrong. So I've gone in, and that's when he said, And he said, listen, we've had a bid from Aberdeen. It's been rejected. And I was like, oh, right. Okay. He was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I didn't know anything about it. I don't know. I was like, I don't really want to leave here. I don't really want to leave here anyway. I was like, I said, listen, if you agree anything or you accept an offer, let me know. But I'm just going home. And I went home and just sat there. And I was up on Sky Sports, and then my agent rang me and said, I'm getting a flight up. So yeah, I was just sat there with him, knowing as much as anyone else did on TV.
Yeah. It must be weird though, because like, so what's it like when you, because obviously it was a tight-knit group of players still, and you still got the core and you still got your mates. Do you get in messages from your mates in the squad as well constantly, and you hear in the news and stuff?
I'm in the group chat. I'm in the group chat on the team group chat, and they're saying, oh, what's happening? Where are you? What's going on? I'm like, lads, I haven't got a clue. And they're like saying, bollocks, where are you? Where are you? You're in Aberdeen already, or something like that. I'm going, lad, no. I actually had to send pictures of myself in my house. And no, I'm not going anywhere, I'm here. So they're like, yeah. And Richie Foran was brilliant. He said to me, look, because he was a great captain. Really ran the dressing room. Best captain I've played under. He was really led by example in everything he did. So he spoke to me the next day, and I think that the view from the lads was that I wanted to go.
Even though you'd said nothing.
Yeah, I said nothing. I was like, I didn't really know. I don't know much about it. I'm not bothered. So that I'm happy here anyway. Like, everyone's going crazy, making up stories, and I'm just sat here going, I'm not really bothered, to be honest. So let people talk. So yeah, I just tried to continue on normally, like nothing had happened, and just carry on. But as you said, everyone makes up their own stories that they don't know the truth.
Did you then eventually, because obviously the move to Aberdeen came a bit later on, it didn't come right away. But did you enjoy your time at Aberdeen then?
I enjoyed going there in the sort of pre-season and things like that, and just settling in. But then the injury happened. So no, I can't say I enjoyed my time. Again, there's the fans there. Football fans are all they're opinionated, and I get why the sort of they weren't happy with my time. I get that because I was injured the whole time. But I think it would have been. They didn't see it half of me at my best. They didn't see any. They didn't see me at 60% of fitness.
Yeah.
They didn't see it. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at the stick you get. That's just an add-on to what happened. It comes with the territory, really. You just have to take it.
What was the injury you had, by the way?
Well, basically, I had a hernia, like a sportsman's hernia. It's called. So, like, it's just a.
Oh yeah, I did hear about it actually. Yeah.
Just a weakness. It's just a weakening in the right side of my groin, and I went in to let them know about it, and I could feel it was painful. I could feel it a little bit. It was just uncomfortable. So they booked me in to have the surgery on the Tuesday, and on the Sunday before we played Motherwell away, and I played 60 minutes. So it was okay to get through an hour, but I wasn't fit. I wasn't 100%. It was still a bit painful when every time like I kicked the ball or did anything explosive. So yeah, I went for the surgery and basically had the surgery and was never the same again.
No.
To be honest, what it says in the medical notes was the mesh. They put mesh over the groin area to strengthen the area, basically.
Yeah.
And the mesh was put in the wrong place. So the mesh is in the wrong place. I still had the hernia. And basically, as I was continuing the rehab, trying to get fit again, it was just basically I was developing another one.
Oh God.
So the mesh is like 6 centimeters in the wrong place. He said once they uncovered it. So yeah, I had to get, because I still had the symptoms. I was still having the symptoms. I was thinking this is not right. The Aberdeen physio was telling me it's normal. You get aches and pains after a surgery. I was thinking not normal. You're not after a hernia surgery. You're normally out. I think Jamie Vardy had one. Well, the guy who Professor Lloyd, the guy who operated on me the second time and found out what was wrong with me in terms of where the mesh was placed, actually operated on Jamie Vardy, and he was back training in 8 days. Back training in 8 days. So it was just a routine operation. So yeah. So anyway, basically 3 operations. I had to have 2 operations to repair what unfortunately happened in the first one.
Yeah.
Because you get an operation in the same area, obviously it can have, you hope not, but it can have a detrimental effect to that area. So I ended up developing a abscess on my pelvis that I only found out a year later. So basically during the time I was at Aberdeen, I had an abscess on my pelvis. I was trying to play through it. I didn't know anything about it.
God.
So, so again, these are the things that people don't know.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm sat there. I used to get it all the time. You get people on Twitter and stuff like that, and I'm sat there thinking, I can barely walk here. I can't really get out of bed. I can barely get in the car. And people haven't got a clue. They just think I don't fancy it. Even McInnes at the time brought me in and said to me, what's up? Is everything okay? And he was trying to show me like videos of me at M&S when I was playing well and doing what I do. He's like, this is what I want from you. And I said to him, I was like, you're not going to get that with the way I'm feeling, mate. I said, you're not getting it. I can barely get out of the car. I said, this isn't a case of me coming in and not like, I found out about my depth. I ain't out of my depth. I play against these lads for 3 years. I know exactly what the standard is. I've been in teams that have beat them happily. Like, it's not, that is not a problem. I said, the problem is what's gone here.
Yeah.
Like what's got, like, I'm in some sort of pain. Something is not right here. So yeah, I remember him saying to me, we're never going to use, we're not going to use that surgeon again that you did the first time. I was like, I hope you don't, because like, I mean, it's a tough job what they do, surgeons, but 6 centimeters in a area like your pelvis or groin is a long way. That's a long way. So they were full of, they were apologising to me. And in the summer of 2018, we went to Cork on a pre-season tour, and I've been taking heavy painkillers and antibiotics, going on antibiotic drips, everything to get the infection. And then we did a training session in Cork, and it just flared up straight away again. I was hobbling around, and yeah, that was my time at Aberdeen. I can't sugarcoat it and say, oh, it was great, I enjoyed it. because it was a fucking nightmare, to be honest. But yeah, I think people are too quick to jump on people's backs when you don't really know the story. But that's the world we live in now. That's the world we live in.
And then after that, you had a few more stints at a couple of clubs, and it was like one of them is Ross County, and I've got to say, Ross County is one of my sort of favourite little clubs there is in the country, because I love Dingwall. The area of Dingwall is great. I love that all the away fans arrive at the train station and there's a bar inside of it. It's great.
Yeah.
But it's like, because again, you didn't get to play much for Ross County, because I imagine your injury probably still wasn't completely healed at the time. But what was it like?
No, I had to. While I was at Ross County, I had to have another 2 surgeries because the problem kept coming up. Ross County were great with me. I'm not gonna lie, going there, I was thinking of all the places to go. Like I don't want to go to Ross County. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Say they're rival sides.
No chance. Like no chance. I want to go there. But the situation I was in, I had no option. The one thing I was thinking about it is, I've heard they've got a good medical team there. It'll give a chance for a fresh pair of eyes to have a look at me. Hopefully I can get fit. That's all I was thinking. Because at that stage I knew my career was under threat, so I had to just do what I could.
Yeah.
I had to do what I could. So when I went there, again, it was pretty much, I went there and I was on the medical bed more than the training pitch. But before this, it was really strange for me, and I've been open about this. I suffered with depression for the whole time. I suffered a massive depression for the whole time, and it was really an eye opener for me for the whole mental health awareness, because I was never really interested in it. But when I went through that, people underestimate what people who haven't struggled with it underestimate what mental health is. I used to be sat there and think, I wish I was happy, but it was a case of I was depressed at the situation with what was happening around me and what was happening to me. I couldn't really see the end, see a light. So yeah, it was, and I was basically getting passed around like it was a piece of meat. Someone trying to fix me. Basically, it was like a car that people are going to write off. To be honest, I was like, I'm going to scrap it any minute here. So yeah, it was a big. Looking back, it was a bad time for me, but it really opened my mind to other things in life, because I was really straight, one line, one up. Like I wanted to achieve so much, but it really made me think you need to enjoy your other part of your life, because this doesn't last forever. So yeah, it was a tough time. Tough. 1 minute, I need to let the dog out.
No problem.
Right, yeah, no, it's all right. He was stuck in the back garden. But yeah, it was a really tough time, and when I was going through it, I didn't really want to admit it to anyone, because I was stupid. I saw it as a sign of weakness. I did. I saw it as a sign of weakness, and I thought, that I just need to sort of put a brave face on and try and get through this. I speak to my mates now, people in football, and they about it, because I'm not one to shy away from it. I don't think you need to be. I think if me admitting or speaking openly about having depression, I think that might help. I hope it could help other people in that boat now, because there is another side to it. You come out of it and you learn a lot more about yourself. So yeah, there was people I spoke to, close mates, said to me, you know what, I was thinking, they said, like, back then, I was thinking to myself, I don't know how he's just remaining normal here. I don't know how he's sort of getting through this, because I'd never had an injury before this. So I didn't know how to deal with it anyway.
Yeah.
I was always injury free. So yeah, they were amazed that I didn't, because they thought that was fine, but really I wasn't. I should have just spoke to someone, but yeah, it opened my eyes massively.
And obviously, retiring from football, it can't be an easy thing. And I've spoken to a lot of sports people before, and they talk about going through that. But they always talk about the transition period from being a football player to then just sort of stopping. And I wonder what that was like for you, having gone through those injuries as you did at the back end of your career. Did it almost make it easier, or was it still as hard as, like, God, I have to stop it, there's no chance it's going to work for me?
Yeah, it was two ways to look. You're right. There's two ways to look at that. It did make it easier to make the decision because it was sort of made for me. What made it hard, if not unbearable, was the fact, basically, my career ended when I was 28.
Yeah.
To be honest, my career ended a couple of months into my time at Aberdeen. So, I mean, I retired when I was 30. Normally, you're expecting 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
30 is where you're in your prime, and it hurt me to have to do it then. But in terms of knowing it was coming, really, if I was honest, I'd say I knew I'd have to retire. First time I ever even mentioned the word retirement was in Cork for Aberdeen, and I was to the physio there, and I said, I'll be honest, I can't really see a way back from this now. So I'd mentioned it in 2018, and then it took a year. It was a year of sort of setbacks that, you know, made me take that decision. Because when I left St Mirren, obviously they wouldn't pay for my. I had to have a surgery again in the same place. Look, good job they've used the same scar over and over again. Otherwise, I'd look like a pink cushion. I'd have marks all over me. So they would just open me up in the same place. So I've got little scars there, but it's great what you can do now in terms of operations. So yeah, the last operation he had was when I was at St Mirren, and they refused to pay for it. Again, it goes back to what I said about you are a piece of meat. So they refused to pay for it because it basically wasn't their problem. So I had to pay the bill myself, which anyone watching or listening to this, yeah, it's fine. That's what you do. But as a footballer, you're insured by their club. So you're an asset to their club. You know, you're trying to do your best for their club. So, you know, it was very wrong for them to do that. And I'll stand by that. It still doesn't sit right with me now. And to be honest, it says all I need to. It says clearly all I need to know about them as people in St Mirren, because, you know, I don't care now. I can say what I want. So I've retired, so no one's gonna tell me off. Like, I don't care. So I've got no good things to say about them, but in the end, I had to pay for it myself, which was fine.
Did they ever give a reason for that?
Basically, they said it was Aberdeen's issue. Despite them signing me knowing that I'd had these injury problems.
Right.
They still signed me. So that was my argument. I said, hang on a minute. I said, you can't just play this card now that I've got injured or it's reoccurred again. You signed me knowing all this. So if I'd have hid it from you and you didn't know about it and then it came out, I could understand where you're coming from, but not if you know. I found it bizarre and just really, like, unprofessional. And on a human level, it's just not. It's not something you do. It's not something you do. So yeah, after even the first time they said, no, we're not paying for it, I was like, right, well, I can't stay here then. My position here is untenable. I can't be around you if you're gonna conduct yourself this way. It's not professional. Not professional. You shouldn't be in charge of a team in the SPL if you're gonna act like this. So yeah, I left there. I had my operation, and then came back, and I was during this time, I'm still trying to get fit. Bike work and stuff like that, because basically that's all I had left. And exercise was helping me mentally as well. It was just refreshed. I felt refreshed. So I went training. I went training with Warrington Town, which is a Conference North team.
I've seen him play.
Yeah, basically to get me out the house, and it was round the corner from me, and just get me on the house, and just because I love the game, so I wanted to play, and David Raven was there, so it was good. Yeah, it was good to see him. But yeah, even doing that, I was still still feeling pain and stuff like that. And in the end, I thought, if I was 30 and fit, I'd like to think I wouldn't be at this level, and that's no disrespect to Warrington, but I was taking a wage off Warrington, and I was thinking that it doesn't feel right, this, because I'm just here, just waiting for the inevitable, to be honest. So I decided to call it a day. I was only there a couple of weeks, but I decided to call it a day. And it was a hard decision, but as you said, it was one that was coming anyway.
Yeah. So what have you done there since that then? Because I know you're going for your coaching badges and stuff, which is almost like it's almost a cliche for retired football players, isn't it? But
yeah,
is that how you're keeping within football?
Yeah, I'd like to stay within football in terms of I'd like to coach at an academy. I'd like to coach at an academy.
Ever go back up to Scotland?
I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out. Who knows in football? But I'd like to have some sort of grounding. In terms, I'd like to have a base. I'd like to be settled, because I haven't had that. I haven't really had that in the last 10, 12 years. So I'd like to do something like that. I'd like to get me badges and work with youngsters. I wouldn't really like to work. Well, I don't know. Who knows? But I wouldn't like to work. I wouldn't like to be a manager, definitely, because I see the stresses they go through, and I'm thinking, no chance. I don't want to do that, because you see managers, and you come through, and first come in, everything's great, positive, full of life, and then you see them before they get sacked, and they've look like they've aged 20 years. And that's pretty much across the board what managers are like. So I don't really want to get into the management. But yeah, coaching something. I know it is cliche as well, which is why I'm working with my friend at the minute doing civil engineering. He started the civil engineering business, so I'm working with my friend doing that. Sort of joint partners on it. So working with my friend on that, and yeah, just looking at options. I've thought about doing, getting involved in the media side of things and things like that. That could be an option going forward. But there are a lot of possibilities if you put your mind to it, I think.
Yeah, of course. And as a football fan, and you'll still have friends who are playing the game inside clubs at the moment. What is the general opinion of football players about how things should get restarted at the moment?
Well, there's a bit of a divide, which I can understand both ways, because there's a lot of players are thinking, right, I've got a mortgage to pay, I've got kids, got a family. They're thinking I want to get out there. I want to prove myself. There's lads who are coming to the end of the contracts, maybe asked to stay on because the league's extended, and they're thinking now this is a good chance to put myself in the shop window, because clubs forget about people, and most of these lads haven't been seen to be playing for the last 2 months, so people forget, and clubs are going to have to be naturally quite stringent with the budgets, and really it's a very important time for players to be as to get out there and get seen again, and basically get seen playing and putting some good performances. There is another side to it though, where you have players who've got family members, they've got young, newborn children, they've got parents or people who live in the house that are at high risk. So it's a very precarious situation for all players to be in, I think, at the minute.
Because I think a lot of people that and it's the same with the general public, isn't it, obviously, but you have like people who criticise somebody like Troy Deeney's coming out and saying they don't want to play, but they give a completely valid reason for it.
Yeah.
You almost like these players are being cascaded for trying to protect themselves and their families.
Yes.
And it must be a horrible situation for players to be going through.
Yeah, it must be, and especially for, I was listening to a podcast Troy Deeney did yesterday, and when he gives his reasons, you hold your hands up and go, absolutely. No chance you'd want to go in. So you told, and I've got a lot of time for him, because he always comes out and says it as it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, he's honest. And that's all you can ask for, because not a lot of people, or people are a bit scared to say what they really think these days, I think, especially in the media, with how much they get scrutinised and things like that. So yeah, I totally agree with him. And yeah, it's a very precarious situation. There's a big sort of big opinion in football, or about footballers, they get paid, blah blah blah, they should get out and play. You can have as much money as you want, but God forbid if a family member if you're putting a family member at risk and he pass away, then you can have all the money you want. It's not going to bring them back. No. It's hard to say, but it's true. And this is what's going through these lads' mind.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. But before we end, let's end on a bit of a happier note. From your career of football, what's the goal or the game that you remember the most and that stands out best for you?
The goal is there's two that stand out for me. Obviously the one against Hearts. Yeah. One in the League Cup semi against Hearts. It was my first start. So that was a massive goal for me time at Inverness. And then the one the round before the Celtic game in the semi-final, we played Partick Thistle in the quarters, and I picked the ball up on near the halfway line, did a nice little turn, went on a run and scored. So that was not really a goal I'd normally score, where I'd pick it up from deep and sort of run all the way through, because it was never known for me. I was never quick, so I was normally one who just did something around the box and got a shot off. But that was nice. I enjoyed that one. So them two, I think, are the best goals of my most favourite goals, anyway.
And then your favourite game.
Favourite game. I'd have to say the Celtic semi-final.
Yeah,
It'd be hard. It's going to be hard to beat that one.
But no, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. It's honestly been a pleasure listening to your stories that you're about to tell about your career. Honestly.
No, it really. Do you know what? It's a big fan of what you do, mate, and I'm fair play to you. You're going in the right direction. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, pal.
No, yeah, and I'd love to talk to you again in the future if anything ever pops up for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything you need, mate. Anything you need, just give me a buzz.
And I'm probably going to have to cut this down into a couple of videos though, because it's that long.
Yeah. Well, yeah.